Hey guys, we have another weigh-in update. I've also moved from 2.5 to 5 milligrams on Mounjaro, so I'm going to give you an update on those symptoms because those symptoms have been dramatically different from 2.5, and also we want to know what those scales are saying as well, so we're going to get through all of that in today's video. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's discuss how we've been getting on over the last few weeks. I think the last time I updated you guys was just before I went on holiday. I was still on the 2.5, and then I decided when I was on holiday that when I would get back would be when I need my next dose, because I found when I was on holiday the food noise was there a lot more. I was snacking a lot more than I ever had before. Whether it's because I was on holiday, I don't really know, but anyway, I decided that when I would get back I would go up to the 5 milligrams. So I spent 2 months on the 2.5, and then going into month 3 I would go up to the 5 milligram. So I'm gonna, when I do my weigh-in, I'm gonna do an overall over the last few weeks since I last gave you an update, because it's honestly fluctuated so much, to losing, gaining, maintaining. So I will just give you an overall, and then overall how much I've lost within 10 weeks. Okay guys, so first let's talk about 5 milligrams, going up to the 5 milligrams, how I found it. I will describe it in one word: dreadful. That's how I felt. Now I'm currently on my 2nd week of it. The first week on it was a little bit hard to notice what was symptoms and what was a virus, because I was feeling poorly. I'd got a virus, I'd got a cold, so I generally didn't want to eat anything, which I think was a bit of the cold and obviously a lot of the Mounjaro. So yeah, I lost a dramatic amount on that week, but I didn't really kind of take much notice of it because I knew it was kind of mixed with me being poorly, and obviously the first week of having a different dose as well. So going into week 2, I kind of, you know, took their symptoms. I'm going to kind of take those symptoms and let you know them, because obviously it's a bit difficult with the first week on it because I wasn't sure what was cold and what was a Mounjaro. But week 2, what I will say is I think I felt worse than the first week on 5 milligram. For the first time ever on Mounjaro, I was sick. All of my symptoms, I was sick. So I took it on the Sunday, and then Monday morning I was sick when I got up. I had my coffee, I had 1 piece of toast just to try and kind of make sure I'd had a bit of something, and then yeah, I was sick a couple of times, which is the first time it's ever happened, which was strange because you would think that my body would be a bit used to it, and if I was going to be sick it would have been on the first week of going up a dose. But anyway, that's how I felt, and I have struggled to eat. I have made sure I've made sure I've had breakfast, lunch and tea. Tea time is the worst for me at the minute. Like, I'm just not hungry when it gets later in the evening, and the thought of like a meal just makes me feel sick. So I cook the meal for the whole family, and then I just eat what I can of it. Lunch times I find I'm the most hungry. I think it's obviously I'll go a few hours without anything. I've tried to snack with fruit in between, but I've struggled to do that. I made myself like a bowl of grapes and blueberries and yogurt yesterday, and I just picked it out, and I was forcing myself to eat it because I just didn't want to eat it, but I was very conscious that I needed to try and get a few more calories in, but also I wanted to make sure I was getting that fruit and veg still in, that nutrition in as well. So it's not, I haven't really been focusing on like protein or anything like that. I've been focused on just trying to eat what I can. It's kind of, I feel mixed emotions about Mounjaro at the minute. I think because the symptoms are feeling quite extreme at the minute, it makes me want to pull back, and makes me think like, is it worth it? Should I just go back to calorie counting? You know how I am. But I've got another 2 weeks left on this dose anyway. It may be that I go back down to 2.5. I'll see how I feel after the next 2 weeks, and then obviously make a decision at that point. Last night I went to bed and I felt really sick before I went to bed, and because it's feeling really restricted at the minute, like I miss just like fancying things. Like I miss just wanting to have things, and it's not even necessarily like the chocolate and stuff. Like I want to fancy like a nice sandwich or anything like that, and I'm just not getting that joy from food at the minute, which is a little bit like disheartening, and I don't like it. And even like those tiny little snacks, I usually have a chocolate bar every evening. Like I make sure I don't have anything throughout the day, and I save it for the evening and have a nice cup of tea, and I've got my favourite chocolate bars, and I sat with it and I was like, I can't eat this. Like if I eat this I will be sick, which one, it's a good thing, so it's not a healthy thing, but it's, you know, it's one of those joys in life sometimes as well, isn't it? So like I said, I have very mixed emotions on how I feel about the 5mg and how it's kind of affected my Mounjaro journey so far. I will give you a weigh-in update as well, because I know you obviously want to know how I've got on so far. Now, last time I updated you was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just got hit that stone mark, so I'd lost 14 pounds within about 8 weeks. So since then, like I said, we've had a few weeks up and down. So just the average of when I weighed myself yesterday, so 4 pounds. So I've lost 4 pounds over the last like 3 weeks, I think it's been, which averages like a really normal amount. So obviously when you first start Mounjaro, you get these really big losses, so obviously it's starting to average out at like a very standard weight loss range, which is what I want from it. So overall I've lost 1 stone 4 pound, so that's 18 pound in total, over sort of 10 to 11 weeks. The reason the weeks are a little bit fluctuated is because I went on holiday and I left it quite a few days, because I didn't want to have it when I was on holiday, and then I went out one weekend. I didn't want to have it just before I went out, so I took it 2 days later. So those days in between probably add up to about a week where I've not had like Mounjaro. So although I've had 10 doses of it altogether, there's probably been about 11 weeks since the whole weight loss journey, if that makes sense. So yeah, within that whole time it's been about 14 pound, which I think again is it's a good amount, but it's not like a scary amount to lose in in that time period. Now I feel good, guys. I'm liking the way that everything's coming together, if that makes sense. I see the difference in the mirror. I see the difference in my clothes. I'm 1 pound away from my next stone bracket. So when I first started Mounjaro, I was 14 stone 4, now 13 stone. So I'm very nearly into that 12 stone bracket, which is so exciting. I cannot remember the last time I was there. So yeah, hopefully I can try and give you an update a little bit quicker next time, but obviously I went on holiday, then I wasn't very well. So let's see if we can keep this up on a weekly basis, and once the kids are back at school and we've got a bit of normality, we can start doing our what I eat in a days on Mounjaro as well. I hope you're all doing really, really well. I will see you all very shortly. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.